Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today, we're diving into the world of puzzle and creativity with Eric, a co-founder of Escape Mail, which is a mobile escape and a mastermind behind all the creation. He has been working with major brands like Lego to bring escape room to school via trailers before, and later pivot to mail-based experience during the COVID pandemic. Eric's story is one of the bold innovation and also full of surprises. Thank you so much, Eric, for joining us on the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
So first, if you can share with our audience what sparked your love into this industry of creating like escape room in the past and before you create escape mail.
I became familiar with escape rooms maybe in 2013 or 14. I did one while I was living in British Columbia, and it was zombie themed. I'm not a big zombie guy.
Okay. Yeah.
But we went on a Friday night with some friends and had some fun.
Okay.
And as I did the room, I had sort of two distinct impressions. The first was that while this was being positioned as a fun activity purely for entertainment, I thought it had more potential than that. I saw the medium as having inherent goodness or quality about it that could be used for much more than entertainment.
Okay.
And secondly, my second impression was that I could do this better.
Yeah, of course.
The craftsmanship was fairly poor. The industry was still quite young. And so all it needed at the time was just to have a place where you could lock people in a room and tell them to escape.
Okay.
The bar is now much, much higher because there's people like me who have come in and said, I can do this better. And I came to learn the hard way. It's quite difficult to do it better. But yeah, that was sort of my initial experience, my initial exposure. And those two impressions have stuck with me till this very day.
Yeah, and I know in your journey, you start out with creating the escape room experience in trailers. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that? How do you put the trailer together? What is actually in the trailer?
So that's how my love for escape rooms began. I then built an escape room on my own, just in a garage, invited some friends over.
I see.
And then I wanted to build this into a business and noticed the increase of mobile service delivery. So food trucks, mobile mechanics, lots of this sort of style of delivery. And I thought, well, hold a second. Does this exist? And so I Google, mobile escape room, and there wasn't one in Canada, and there's only a handful in the States. So my wheels got turning about, so could we build it inside of a structure that would be portable? And so we kind of researched a bunch of different options and eventually landed on a cargo trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I moved from BC to the province right beside, which is Alberta, and moved closer to family. And that's where I got connected with my brother-in-law, so my wife's brother. And we became business partners and started this venture together where we called it Mobile Escape. And our goal was to awaken wonder. And we sought to do that by bringing escape rooms to schools. We actually discovered early on that schools would be one of the best customer bases for this. And sure enough, it was. It did really, really well in the school system.
Oh, nice. So the school actually need to reserve an escape trailer, and then you show up and say, okay, here it is. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So, I think schools everywhere do field trips, but especially in Alberta, there's a really rich education climate where a lot of funding is available for these trips. And so sometimes they go off site, but sometimes they have providers come on site.
I see.
And so we were that. We came to the school, saving them time and money and effort and they really appreciated that. And our experience is quite different than any other field trip where there's a lot of
True.
rules and you gotta, walk in single file. Like in our room, the kids would go in there, and
Yeah.
your quote unquote like bad kids did great. They loved it because they got to be
Yeah.
creative and curious, and they got rewarded for touching that thingamajig or for talking too much. And so it was really fun to see how especially kids with some challenges in a traditional classroom excelled in our escape rooms.
I see. For your setting, is it like 10 student at a time, or how does it work logistically?
Yeah, so we were able to solve that problem. I think a lot of there aren't a lot of mobile escape rooms, but there are a handful, and they all kind of fall into the same pitfall, which is having one room, one experience,
Yeah.
which is only good for 4 to 8 people, maybe
Hmm.
10 if you're getting really crafty. So what
Yeah.
we did is we got a really big trailer and we made 2 rooms, 2 experiences.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we could fit half the class. We
Hmm.
usually take a class of say like 28 kids, split them up
Oh.
into 4 groups of 7. So
Oh,
2 of them
whoa.
would be in the
Okay.
rooms outside in the trailer, while
Yeah.
the other 2 would be inside. So let's say Paul's running the trailer, I'm
Yeah.
inside the classroom, and
Yeah.
I would be doing one of 2 things: either at one station teaching the kids how to do what we do,
Yeah.
or um, we built these like big props, like big tabletop props that
Yeah.
would probably be about 2 by 2 by 4 feet,
Hmm.
and you could gather a group of 6 to 8 students around that. Like we built a time machine, a treasure
Oh, whoa.
chest.
Nice.
We built the Parthenon, scale replica of the Parthenon.
Oh,
We built a
whoa.
pirate
Okay.
ship. So we
Yeah.
built all these cool props that we would bring into the classroom, and then
I see.
students would solve that tabletop escape game.
I see. Yeah, that's awesome. I have never had that kind of field trip when I was a kid.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it was
awesome.
cool. It
Okay.
was really cool.
Yeah. I see. And what would you say was some of the early challenges to create an awesome experience like that for the kids in for your brother?
Everything was challenge.
Hmm.
There was nothing that we did that didn't have challenge because we didn't know what we were doing. We'd never
I
built an
see.
escape. I built one escape room as a hobbyist, so we
Yeah.
never built escape rooms before.
Hmm.
I'll tell you a quick story. This might be fun for your
Sure.
listeners,
Go ahead. Yeah.
because you make your plans, right?
Yeah.
You make your plans, but sometimes things don't go according to plan.
Of course.
And the best story early on was that we invested our own money into
Hmm.
being at this big event in Calgary. It was going to be our first show, our first event. We're going to do it big launch.
Okay.
100,000 people come to this event. So we're like, all right, we're going to do it. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And so we put in our money, which at the time was a ton of money,
Yeah.
the fee to be at that event. We pay up front, and we bought our trailer months in advance. Now, when I say bought
Yeah.
the trailer, we're buying the empty shell. It's just
Oh,
a
okay.
cargo trailer straight from the
Yeah.
factory.
Okay.
And it has things like an air conditioner and a heater, but it's just plywood walls. There's nothing in it.
Okay. Yeah.
So we order it months in advance, and we get closer and closer to the launch event, and we're like, so when's that trailer coming?
Hmm.
And they're manufacturing it in Oregon.
Yeah.
And so it has to get shipped to us, and we get delay. And so it gets so close to the event that Paul and I are like, I don't know if we can pull this off.
Yeah.
So it's 2 weeks before the event,
Oh, whoa.
and we
Okay.
have
That's
no
not bad.
trailer.
Oh no. Okay.
So it does arrive. So 14
Yeah.
days before the event, it does arrive.
Okay.
And we've never built an escape room before. We
Yeah.
have no trades. Like we're not tradesmen. We don't know how to like fabricate and manufacture, and
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
not we're not like woodworkers or carpenters or electricians.
Yeah.
And our event is in 2 weeks.
Oh,
And so we did it. We pulled it off. We
cool.
built 2
Nice.
escape rooms
Uh-huh.
in 12 days. And
Oh,
then
whoa.
we had
Okay.
one day to write the rule book for the rooms, and then we had one day to figure out how to run it. We're like, okay, we built the rooms, but how do they work? How do they run? How do we host it?
I
Um,
see. Okay.
so,
Okay.
anyways, that was some of the most stressful days. Exciting days looking back. I think I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do that again, but I'm proud of the journey and what we've overcome and the resiliency that's really been built through all these challenges we've faced.
For sure. Yeah. 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 For only 12 days to build, like, to accomplish such a big project like that. So good job, and thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that story. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of progress into the next stage of your journey, and I know obviously sounds like that was going fairly well for you before COVID happened. Can we kind of talk about like the pivot and the transition you did since COVID?
Yeah. So COVID really upended our plans once again. We
Hmm.
had two locations with two trailers, so one in each location. We had managers in each city. We had staff in each city.
Hmm.
Our bookings were increasing, revenues were increasing, and then it was all over overnight.
Yeah.
We lost like $100,000 and had to pay back vendors who we weren't providing services for, and so it was pretty devastating. And I'm usually a creative guy. I didn't have ideas. I didn't have creativity. I had my head in my hands without much of a clue what to do. And I just remember very distinctly, I was working from home as we all were. So I was sitting in the
Hmm.
basement, and Paul, my brother-in-law and business partner, he comes down the stairs and he says, Eric, I was chatting with his wife, Kara. He says, Kara had this idea. Like,
Hmm.
I already mentioned our field trip program. Remember, I said that if I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
inside, I'm the one teaching the kids about
Yeah.
how to do what we do.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
did that with simple materials. We did that with simple materials. We did paper, pencil,
Okay.
scissors, glue. And
Hmm.
so the concept was, hey, take everything you've been doing for years,
Hmm.
these simple puzzles that you've been creating based out of
Yeah.
paper and pen, put them in an
Hmm.
envelope and ship them around the world.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
and so we called it escape mail because
Yeah.
it's like an escape room in an envelope.
Hmm.
And we created a storyline, and
Hmm.
we promised people that we would make 12 episodes. We would make one for every month of the year, and you could
Okay.
order them as a subscription. And people loved it. It went crazy. Like, we had
Mm-hmm.
one of our best months ever, even to date, one of our best months ever,
Mm-hmm.
in the early days of COVID, because people were looking
Okay.
for something, right? They just wanted something
Yeah,
to
have
do at
nothing to
home,
do. Yeah. Hmm.
and they actually prepaid for the season. They bought the whole season up
Oh
front.
wow.
And so from a cash flow perspective, it was amazing. We were like,
Yeah.
this is incredible. We were seeing stars,
Hmm.
and we were really excited. And so we were off to the races, creating an episode every month.
I see. Can you also kind of, since you have the product with you, can you kind of explain what is actually inside the episode? What does the experience look like for your
Yeah.
customer if they do want to try
For
one?
sure, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So the frame of reference that is most close to it is like an escape room, but it's
Yeah.
hard for people to say, like, wait, an escape room in an envelope, how does that work?
Yeah.
And so really, it's kind of in the genre of like murder mystery.
Okay.
And so on the back here, you can see some of the things you get. You get like a piece of cloth. Like, why is there a cloth in there? Or string. Like, that's a
Oh.
mysterious object. Why would there be a piece of string in a game?
Yeah.
Um, this here is like coins. You can see a phone there. It's really important
Hmm.
that you have a phone, because we have a lot of digital interaction in our
Oh,
game
okay.
where
Okay.
the items in your game relate to something online, whether it
Okay.
be like a text message that you're getting from your
Hmm.
cousin, JJ.
Yeah.
He's this guy here. So it could be
Oh,
coming from JJ, or
yeah.
maybe there's a website you need to go to, or maybe you need to send a different kind of message to someone else, or there's
Okay.
a video you need to watch or something.
Yeah.
You also see like a pen or pencil. So you're going to be having a lot of like, write on this thing and
Hmm.
see what it spells out, or
Hmm.
because we're escape room builders, we love that interactivity. So there's a lot of like hands-on, build it, slide it, move it, rotate it, shift it, fold it. We love that,
I
right?
see. I see. I see. How many player is each of the experience is designed for?
You can play them solo if you want,
Mhm.
but like escape rooms, it's better in a group.
Yeah.
You want to have that teamwork, communication, seeing things differently. Like, I'll see a problem one way, and then you'll see it a different way, and I would never have been able to see it the way that you see it, because you're Jason and I'm Eric, and we're different.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
We love that about puzzles.
Okay.
And so we recommend a max of 4, but you could play with 5 or 6. It just depends how many cooks you want in the kitchen.
Okay. 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 And how long does it usually take to solve one scenario?
Yeah, that can really depend on your level of experience. It also
Okay,
depends on how willing you are to take hints or not. But we
I see.
find that most people fall within the 1 hour to maybe hour and a half range.
Okay,
Some episodes go a little longer if you
yeah.
don't have as much experience, or if it's just a harder episode. All the episodes are up here on our rack. We do a
Oh, you're
monthly
right.
mail. Oh yeah, there they
Yeah.
are. You can see all
Okay.
the different
Okay.
colored envelopes and
Oh, okay. Okay.
uh,
Okay. I see.
and so when we go to fulfill our orders each day or every other day,
Mhm.
we go and we just pick the right envelope out based on its color label or whatnot, and stick
Oh, okay.
the
Okay. Okay.
address and mail them out once a month.
Yeah, and I know last time when we met, you have different series as well besides the original
Hmm.
one. Can you also talk about the
Yeah,
different series that you
I
created?
have 3 series here. So our first series called Family Secrets.
Yeah.
That's our flagship series. Got 12 games. All 12 are in this box set, so you can get them in a box, or you
Okay.
can get them as individual, like letter mail.
Yeah.
And that's like a fun, lighthearted story of treasure with your cousin JJ.
Yeah.
Then we released Shinobi, which is a ninja scroll.
Yeah.
Very, very cool product. There's really nothing else like it. It's an actual scroll. It's 3 feet long.
Okay.
It's made out of canvas with wood and string and a real metal key. Like it's it's a very high quality product.
Hmm.
A little bit higher price point. It's just one game.
Yeah.
And then our latest game is based on a true story, which is also very rare. It's based on the 1914 trans-Antarctic expedition led by Ernest Shackleton, one of
Oh,
the
okay.
greatest survival stories of all time. And this is a
Okay.
6 episode series,
I see.
unlike Family Secrets, which is a 12 episode series. So half the
I see.
length, but a little more accessible for people. 12 is a big commitment. 6 is
Yeah.
maybe a little bit easier to swallow.
Ah, I see. I see. Yeah, you have so many different version of it. For the beginner that have really never done this kind of escape room experience, which one do you recommend people to try first?
Yeah, I think they're all accessible. One of the
Mm.
unique things about our company is that we have designed something we call a flow card. Let me see if I have one here.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
And
How does
the
that work?
flow card is our way. We just found that in an escape room, there was like an inherent logic to a puzzle.
Yeah.
Because you'd walk in the room and you'd see a 3 digit lock, and then you would
Yeah.
unlock this box and get 3 numbers and know that it goes there. And so there's sort of
Yeah.
this like inherent physical logic to the room. With
Yeah.
our packages, you don't get that as much. It's you get it all at once, and you're like, what do I do? And so
Mm.
some in our industry have chosen to put their games in different envelopes and tell you when to open each envelope, which is
Yeah.
fine. Our method's a little different. So
Okay.
we have something called a flow card, which can look like this, can look different as well.
Okay.
And this would just tell you, hey, focus on these items in this order. So don't focus
Oh,
on this one yet. Focus on
yeah.
these. It's not telling
These
you how to
ones.
solve it. It's just
Yeah.
giving you a bit of a like, hey, at least I know where to look.
Okay. Okay.
And a
Okay.
lot of players appreciate those. Some don't want them. Some flip
Mhm.
it over, or they just don't look at it.
Yeah.
But most people find it very helpful to know what to focus on.
I see. Okay, okay, that's definitely a very interesting concept. And based on your background in the design, like as far as translating some of the physical element into this like tiny envelope, which I think is very quite challenging initially. What are some of the struggle or challenges you had initially trying to translate all this idea into a tiny envelope?
Yeah, not only is it a tiny envelope, it had to weigh under 30 grams to fit the the
Okay.
postal requirements.
Yeah.
So we could
Yeah.
fit under that price tier.
Yeah.
You can send more, but it just
Yeah.
jumps up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the challenge was always between me and my business partner Paul and our staff, because we had some staff at that time. Was
Yeah.
always that pushback, right? Like, hey,
Ah.
is this going to be heavy? Have you thought about like? And I was
Hmm.
always like, come on, it's fun, it's going to be great. And then it's always, yeah, but it's heavy.
It's heavy.
Uh,
Yeah. I
or it's
see.
expensive, or it's too many items, or
Too many
whatnot. So
items.
there's that
Okay.
always that like healthy friction between creativity and ideas and
Mm.
practicality and reality. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I forgot there's also a weight requirement, not just size. So that make it
that's
even
right.
harder to kind of come up with a decent design that's still interactive and entertaining enough.
Yeah,
So
that's right. In fact, in episode 3 of Family Secrets, we wanted to send players a room, like an actual paper room that they would
Oh,
build and
okay.
have these like little figurines that moved around the room and kind of like a chessboard.
Okay.
And so we tried to do it, and we did. We pulled it off under the weight restrictions.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
And that was we learned a lot in that process. We made some mistakes along the way, and we've upgraded and improved the game multiple times. And now it's
Yeah.
just one of the most fun episodes where you get to actually feel like you're in that space that the player
Oh,
is in. So it's cool.
I see. Okay. 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 Well, thank you so much for sharing that. So, what is like looking ahead? What are some of the plans that you have for the next couple of years for growing the business so far?
Man chooses his plans, but the Lord directs his steps. Oh man,
Yeah.
we've made a lot of plans. Well, I have this sort of humorous moment where I can just actually, there's a few, and I'll tell each one because
Sure. Yeah.
as a business podcast, this is important. Um, 2024 summer, we're gearing up. We're getting ready for a big Q4,
Yeah.
and we're investing in creative. So for advertising, so we're making
Mhm.
new videos. We're investing in product and inventory, getting them into warehouses and distribution centers. So
Mhm.
we're putting out a lot of cash in the
Yeah.
summer,
Yeah.
and we had we're moving towards a sale of our business as well. So we sold the trailers, Mobile Escape.
Yeah.
So we're really positioning ourselves for a big Q4. And
Yeah.
our product isn't exclusively letter mail because we have boxes and packages and parcels, but we
Yeah.
do a
Yeah.
lot through letter mail. It's
Yeah.
about half, maybe just under
Mm.
half,
Okay.
is
Yeah.
subscription letter mail. And then in Q4, our country, our postal service, has a very long strike. They're
Oh
not sending
no.
any letter
Okay.
mail.
Yeah.
One of the longest in recent history.
Yeah.
And so as a result, we have a couple options. We can just say we're not sending, in
Mhm.
which case you have to pause everyone's subscriptions and pause all your revenue and hurt that customer relationship,
Hmm.
or you
Mhm.
find another way to send it.
Yeah.
And as you know, like sending this by letter mail is $1 or $2.
Yeah.
Sending it as a parcel or a package is like 7 or 8. And this is only a
Oh.
$20 product, or actually
Yeah.
usually less if you're buying a subscription. It's like a
Yeah. Yeah.
$15 product. So
Okay.
if you're
Yeah.
willing to spend half of your, like take half your margin just to
That's
ship a
tough.
product, right?
Yeah.
So that was our Q4 kerfuffle, and it
Mhm.
threw a wrench in our plans. But we're a
Mm.
resilient bunch, so we're like, all right, that's okay. Well, 2025, it's going to be better. Like, here we go. And
Yeah.
our big plan for 2025 was the United States. We believed that there's this
Mhm.
big customer base, the United States. We haven't gotten there. We haven't tapped it.
Yeah.
We got a lot of momentum in Canada, but the
Yeah.
United States is just we're ready. Let's do it. So we
Yeah.
have this team meeting. It's January 17th or something, or January 9th. I
Okay.
forget
Yeah.
the day, but it was, mid January. And we have a team meeting and we say, rah, rah, we're going to do this. We're going to go to trade shows in the States. We're going to work on wholesale in the States.
Mhm.
And we're going to Paul was going to dedicate his entire year just to focusing on this. And a
Mhm.
week later, Mr. Trump says,
Ah.
"Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we don't like Canada anymore," which is like the first time in our
Yes.
history between
Yeah.
our two nations. We do business
Yeah.
together. Our borders are open. It's been a beautiful relationship for so long,
Yeah.
and for the first time ever, a week after we make this plan, it sort of all comes to a crashing halt. Paul was on the phone with distributors, and they literally were like, "Oh, you're from Canada," and they just like hung up the phone. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
it kind of stopped
Yeah.
things just immediately.
Yeah.
Now we still have
Yeah.
been doing business in the States, and we still are overcoming those hurdles and obstacles, and there are
Yeah.
plenty of Americans who want to do business with Canadians,
Yes. Yeah.
and so they're it's not impossible. It's just really altered things. So I feel like those two moments have been quite. They're almost humorous in how like
Yeah.
distinctly challenging and sort of stopping up your plans in your tracks. You have to pivot and come up with some other idea or overcome the obstacles. And that's kind of been our story the last, well, for years, but especially the last year.
Yeah, 100%. Just like we discussed before the interview, like I think entrepreneurship is never a dull moment, and there's always something challenging coming up. And I think tariff with all the new, especially all the new Trump administration that they have been trying to do, is really hurting a lot of the small, medium-sized business like us.
Yeah, yeah. At least in the short term, I don't know if in the long term it'll all pan out and play out fine, and people will adapt. But at least in the short term, yeah, it's causing a lot of issues.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So as we are wrapping up today's interview, for our listener that will be like interested to learn. Oh, actually, I have one more question. Is if you had to share one piece of advice with someone that's getting started within the toys and game industry, what would that be?
Um, yeah, there's sort of two pieces of advice. One is like really, really practical and granular, and the other is more like conceptual.
Sure.
Um, yeah, I think from like a big picture, like um, going into it with the right expectations, with the right mindset of like, this is going to be the extremely challenging, but I believe in this thing, and so therefore it's worth it.
Mm,
I think hold on to that. Don't ever let go of that, no matter how hard things get. If you believe in it,
mhm.
expect it to be difficult, and expect your belief to help you overcome those difficulties.
Yeah.
But to be really I hope this is really helpful. We learned, it's probably a year ago, we were at a conference and one of the speakers was presenting and said, hey, when it comes to getting your product to market, make sure that
Mhm,
the cost to produce the product is
mhm,
20% or
mhm.
less
Yeah.
of your retail price.
Okay, that's a
Okay,
reasonable.
so COGS 20% of
Mhm,
MSRP, right? Like
mhm.
that
Yeah.
ratio needs to be there. I think
Mm,
if you don't have the experience, you don't know why that number is so important. But the industry is built in such a way with distributors and consolidators and retailers and wholesalers where there's a lot of people taking a lot of pieces. And
yes.
even
Yeah.
if you don't go through those channels, you still
Mm,
pay. Like there's not
yes.
a way to not pay. You have to either
Yeah.
advertise or, unless you're like a viral sensation overnight, which may only
Mm,
last you 6 to 12 months,
mhm.
you need healthy margin. And if
100%.
you don't
Mhm,
have healthy margin, you can't survive. And so our products are all at that point. Some are creeping a little bit over, and it
mhm.
hurts. It's
Yeah.
not great. And so we do everything we can to get under that, like at or under that 20%, which sometimes we're more successful than others.
Of course, that's actually a really good piece of advice, and that's something when I'm consulting with people that I always do a profitability analysis with the people I'm talking to make sure they have enough margin. Doesn't matter what platform they use, just like you mentioned, because there's a lot of other costs that sometimes happen or
Oh yeah,
sometimes not expected. So if your margin is not there, you couldn't eat all the costs. You will immediately put your business in red. So that's
yeah.
definitely a very good and very solid piece of advice. So thank you for sharing that. And for our listener that's interested to learn a little bit more about you and the business that you represent, where is the best place for people to find you online?
Yeah, our website's probably the best place. It's theescapemail.com.
Okay, I'll make sure we put that in the show note. And thank you so much again on sharing your experiences, a lot of the story, that's very interesting story we in your journey in the industry as well. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome, Jason. Thanks for having me on your show.
And for our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed today's conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support. We would love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. For more resource tips and the latest update within the toys and game industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag Toy Business Unboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestion for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.